This is a picture of George Washington at Valley Forge. And this was the day before a great battle. And George Washington was spending the night praying, and you can see the sunrise coming up. There was a spy behind one of the trees. And the spy was just keeping an eye on what was going on in George Washington's camp. Later, he reported back to his general. And what he reported, that he believed that they were not going to win the battle. The general was a little frustrated and asked why. And simply, the spy responded with, because I've seen General Washington praying for many hours. And I believe that we're not going to win. George Washington, the founder of our country, was a man of prayer. And it wasn't just something for show. It was something that was real to him. That a spy would interpret that is what America is all about. In God, we trust that we're one nation under God. And if we'll just continue to pray and seek His face, God will heal our land. Prayer is very important to me as a legislator in that it helps me to see from God's perspective. If you really want to know how we should lead this country, we spend time with the one who created the country.
One of the things that I appreciate so much living in the state of Oklahoma is our values. And yet in Oklahoma, we're seeing our values trampled upon by the federal government. We need to make sure that we're fighting against the overreach of the federal government to protect our Second Amendment rights, protect our First Amendment rights, protect the life of the unborn, and be their voice, protect in the holy matrimony of marriage. As a state senator, I intend to continue to fight for your rights and ensure all that I can do that your rights are not trampled on.
My master's degree is in Christian education. I love education. I love teaching. In fact, I do a lot of teaching here in my financial planning practice. In 1999, I had a friend email me that there was a position opening on the Jinx School Board. Thought about it for just a second and realized I don't have time for that. It just felt like I need to read that email again. But then another thought came. Someone needs to step out, become involved, make a difference. So I decided to go ahead and run, and the voters approved, and I served for 8 years on the Jinx School Board. And for me, the mission was to make a difference in our schools. So I believe in our schools. I'm very passionate about our schools. It's not about buildings or even administrators. What's in the best interest of the students? It's not one size fits all in education. Every student is different. Every student learns differently. And we need to provide flexibility. The last couple years deals with flexibility for our schools and our teachers. And they were often tasked doing extraneous activities, paperwork, committee meetings. What can we do to reduce the amount of time required by teachers and allow them to teach? I'm proud that this year we were able to do that and reduce the number of tests and reform the Teacher Leader Effectiveness Act and put back into local control. So in the state, we've had our Reading Sufficiency Act. You have to pass a third grade test in order to be promoted to fourth grade. To have third graders read was a good policy, but we were failing our kids. We were not involving our parents. And so I was able to get past a law that ensured that parents would be a part of a committee with their teacher and have that flexibility for our kids. I ultimately passed some legislation that created an Oklahoma statewide virtual school board. 5 members, 1 from each congressional district, is responsible for ensuring a good education for our full-time virtual students. So one thing that we got passed this year ensures that each teacher and administrator by the first payroll of November has a 1-page statement that they can review how much are they making in total. That includes salaries, benefits, pension. The statement's important, but an area that we still need to improve on is teacher pay. Number 1, to be more competitive with our other states, but number 2, they've earned it. The concern is the number of administrators and superintendents statewide. Because with each superintendent comes an administrative team as well, and a lot of money going to overhead. So my concern is recapturing those dollars and putting them into the local districts. One area that often is lacking is good communication between the legislator, the superintendents, the teachers, or even students, parents. Legislators do not have all the answers, and it's important to engage the administrators, the teachers, the parents, anytime we're developing new policy, because together we can come up with some creative solutions to improve education.